Hi YouTube, 2E0 FNM back again with another video. Today I wanted to show you how to turn one of these into your own personal YX Hotspot. With the upcoming changes to the Ofcom licensing here in the UK, people might be able to create, it's not confirmed yet, but people might be able to create their own nodes, you know, gateways, without needing an NOV. Now the good thing with the FT3, it works with the FT2, the FT3 and the FT5, but unfortunately not the FT1. These power levels are, I think it's 300 milliwatts on the lowest power, then it's 1 watt, 2.5 watt and 5 watt. So say on the 1 watt setting, if these license changes happen, you could just put this on an external antenna and then have your own gateway without the need of an NOV. But like I say, it's not confirmed yet, but what I'm going to do is going to show you how I made this into a personal hotspot, just like your MMDVM hotspot, your open spot, that kind of thing that you use around the house. I'm going to use this just around the house on the lowest power setting, which is 300 milliwatts, which gets me obviously around the house, up the garden, you know, very local. So just with the standard antenna, I do recommend using the standard antenna because obviously it's going to be transmitting all the time, and you know that this antenna being from Yeasu with the radio, that it's going to be right. You know, I wouldn't stick a non-standard antenna on it unless you're absolutely sure that the SWR is fine, because you don't really want to risk it if it's transmitting all the time. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. As I say, I used to have a couple of gateways. I had a D-Star gateway and a Fusion gateway. They're no longer running now. Closed them down a year or two ago. They just weren't getting used. The benefit over the MMDVM style of hotspot is those use what they call YSF. So they're basically reflectors. So YSX is the direct way to get into the system, and the YSF with your Pi Star and Open Spot and stuff, they use the YSF side of things. And obviously there are differences, but they are kind of, you know, very similar. But the good thing about using Yaesu equipment is you can go directly into it. So I'm going to show you today. I'll just have a quick look around the radio as well, just show you my thoughts. I got it for Christmas, so I've had it about a month now. Really good. Got it, you know, they're not expensive, and that's the other reason I wanted to do this video, is they're very inexpensive. Like this one you could probably get for just under £200 now for the FT3. FT5 I'm not sure, probably obviously a bit more money. And the FT2 this will work for as well. So, you know, really you probably get one of those for maybe 160 or something in FT2. But as I say, the FT1 won't work. I got this from Lamb Communications. I probably paid, well, I paid £220 for it. And thinking getting it from Lamb, it would have been boxed. You know, it didn't say if it was boxed or not, but it wasn't boxed. And it stunk of cigarette smoke, so it wasn't the best experience. But the radio itself is immaculate, and it works really well. So I'm really happy with it. So without further ado, what I'll do is I'll sort of show you around it a little bit. I'll jump on the computer, show you how to set up the YX side of things, and then we'll just go from there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Right, so we'll have a look round it. So as I say, I got this from Lamco. The radio itself is immaculate. It really is in good condition. Obviously it did smell very badly of cigarette smoke when it came, but yeah, the radio itself is really good. You know, full color screen. I think the only downside with this radio is the speaker quality on it is not the best. But as I say, for what we're going to be doing today, we don't need the speaker. You know, it's going to be running as a node. Now the only thing when we're doing this is we're going to need another Yaesu radio. So this FT3 will be basically running as a gateway, just like the FTM100 will do. If you've not seen my video on the complete guide to Yaesu System Fusion, I'll link that down below, which gives you a full insight of how Fusion works. So this will be basically just sat on the desk with some cables in it that I'll sort of show you. And it just runs as a node. So you do need another radio to communicate to this radio. So this radio will be out of action while we're doing this. But the other way you can do it is you don't necessarily need to run it as a transmitting node. You can still put the cables in it and then press the PTT and talk through the system. No RF comes out of it, and then you can just use it that way. So in a way that you could use the radio. So one thing we will need is we'll need the radio ID. I'll jump on the computer in a second and I'll just sort of walk you through how we do it. But if you hold the display button and then you go to GM, you'll see there radio ID check. So if you click on that, so this is, we'll need this code. Yours will be different. Every radio is completely different. So that's my code there. So when we go on the computer, we'll have a look at how you set this up. So it'll take a couple of days. You know, you'll basically send an email request to Yeasu, and when they approve it, they send you an email back with the information that you're going to need. So yeah, there you go. So it's, yeah, like I say, good radio. I do like it. I've taken it out and about. You know, the good thing with doing this is all I have to do to use it as a standard radio, like you would be using it. Like now, it works just like a radio, absolutely no problem at all. You know, you can put your frequencies in, you take it out and about, get into your local repeaters and that kind of thing. And then when you want to use it for what we're going to use it for, you just turn the radio off, you hold down the back and the YX button together and turn it on. You'll see now it'll say YX, so that's now in YX mode. So there's nothing happening now because it's not plugged into the computer. But once it's plugged in, it'll populate. But that's basically how you change it between it. And then obviously to get back, you just turn it off, hold the two buttons again, and turn it back on, and then you're back to your standard radio. So let's just do it. This is my hotspot, by the way. This is the Yaesu System Fusion hotspot that I built. As I say, I can leave a link to the video and my website tutorial on how to build your own YSF hotspot. But we'll just do an audio test, and you can sort of hear what it sounds like. 2 Echo 0 Foxtrot November Mike. This is 2 Echo 0 Foxtrot November Mike doing an audio test.
2 Echo 0 Foxtrot November Mike. This is 2 Echo 0 Foxtrot November Mike doing an audio test.
So yeah, that's basically what it sounds like. So that's the only sort of thing with this radio. It's the quality of the speaker's not fantastic, but you know, it works fine. You know, no problem at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump on the computer and just sort of explain the process of how we do it. One thing you will need is a cable. Let me just get this out of the packaging so we can see. So I bought this cable set from Martin Lynch. So obviously other places sell it as well. And it's the SCU57 kit. Now this is pretty expensive. It's about £70. But if you've got I think it's the SCU19, that will work fine. And if you've got an FTM100, I think they sort of came with that. But this comes with the main cable that goes in the side, in the data port there. And it also comes in this kit is an audio cable that plugs into that single socket and also gives you the cables to connect to your PC's microphone and speaker port on your actual PC. So I think the idea is that on the data port it's going to be using the digital side into YX, and if there's any analog going on YX, this side of it will cover that. So it's like an all-in-one type of thing. Now you can't host your own room with this setup. You'd need the HRI 200 box, but like I say, most of us probably are not that bothered about that. There's plenty of rooms to play on. So yeah, that's it. So what I'll do now, so as I say, that's the cable that you'd need. The SCU57 kit, which will have everything that you need in it. Like I say, bit expensive. You might be able to get it second hand. I just bought mine from Martin Lynch. So what I'll do is I will jump on the computer and I'll show you that, and then I'll quickly show you it connected into the actual radio. So back in a minute. Right, so we're on the computer now. So how to set this up with the Yeasu? If you Google YX, I'll leave a link in the description to the actual website. You'll be greeted with this page. So if you just go to member registration here, fill it out. Obviously I've already done this, but you'll just want a username. It doesn't have to be exactly a call sign. It's only the username for the actual to log into YX. But you know, I would probably just use your call sign, choose a password, just like you would log in, register on any website really. And then what will happen is you'll get an automated response from Yeasu, you know, instantly kind of thing. And then you click that, and then you basically, once you've logged in like I have here, you would go to this. Obviously mine says change registration because obviously I've already registered, so I'm just sort of explaining it. But there'll be I think when you first log into it, after you've got that first email, it'll basically guide you. You know, I think you just click a tick box and then it says, you know, it sends you to this page anyway. But, you know, there's not a lot to look at, but, you know, here, you'll find it. It's just basically to create the information. So obviously, your member ID, you know, your call sign, whatever, choose a password. These two boxes you won't get. So the node ID number and the room ID number, that is what you get sent after a few days. So they won't be able to get inputted. And then this is obviously you need to put your call sign. So this is important. Put your call sign there. And this is the radio ID that we showed you before. So, you know, obviously this is mine. Every single radio is totally different, and it tells you here how to find your ID. So you just make sure that's right here as well. Put your address and your email. It's a really simple form. There's nothing to it. And then you submit that, and then you'll probably get another immediate reply from Yeasu to say, you know, thank you, you know, we've received your application. But that's not what you need. You need to wait a few days for the final email to come, and it'll come when it comes. You know, I think, you know, mine took about 4 days, but, you know, sort of around that sort of thing. And in that email, it'll give you the YX node number and the room ID. It'll give you that in the email. So, you know, that's what we'll need when we actually start to use YX. So that's this side of it done. Before, you know, and obviously, like, sorry, I forgot to say, this is where you can download the actual YX software. So there you go, YX PC software. That's what you'll need. Obviously, if you're doing it my way, you won't have an HRI 200, so you don't need to worry about that. It's just the actual PC software itself. But when you get the actual kit from Martin Lynch or wherever, like I was showing you before, you need to download the driver for the actual cable. So I think you can use the SCU19. I'm not exactly sure on the other one. I think it's a SCU38. But like I say, you know, double check. But I got the actual kit, which is the what is it now here? It is called the SCU57 kit. I'm not sure if you can see that on there, but that's the kit I bought from Martin Lynch, which has all the cables that I needed. But make sure you download this driver, so it's here at the bottom. You can't see it actually because of my face, but it's at the bottom of the file section. You'll see the prolific driver. So install that before you actually plug the cable into your computer. So install the driver, plug your cable in, it'll find it, and then if you go to, but it won't be on this computer because I'm remoted in. So this is I've remoted into my spare computer. So you'll obviously need a spare laptop or a computer or your main computer. You know, but I've just used it on a dedicated machine. But if you go into Device Manager, you will see, if you go to your COM ports, there you go, the prolific PL2303 cable, and it's on COM port 3, so you'll need that. Like I've already installed the software, but it's really simple. When you first download it, you know, you've got your cable, you've installed the driver first, you put the cable in, you put it all together, and then you install the program. It'll ask you what COM port it is, and obviously I've just showed you mine's COM3, yours might be different. And then you put in the room ID, you know, that you got in that final email, and then it just works. It just knows, because it knows your radio ID as soon as it's plugged into the computer, so that bit's already done. You just put the room IDs in it, and then it just works. So having a quick look at the software, you know, obviously once you've got connected, we'll have a look at the settings. So here you can obviously fill in this won't be able to be changed because it's to do with the radio, and it pulls this information when you give it your room ID and everything in that email when you first install this program. So you can put your location settings in. You can have it a return to room if you want. I've just got mine, you know, because it's only for me personally. So I'll either disconnect the node manually, you know, with my other radio, or by going up to the top here where it says connect and then disconnecting it. And I don't really need a return to room, you know. I suppose this is more if it's connected to an external antenna, and you know, when someone puts it on America Link and you want it to return wherever your home room's parking, so you know, it keeps, that's how you would set that. But I've just put unlimited timeout time. But apart from that, everything else is standard. I haven't messed around with anything. And then if we go to File and Settings, no, not Settings, we've just been in Settings, Transceiver. Now, this is where you can choose any frequency you want, so obviously make sure it's clear, and if you are putting it on an external antenna, then you might need an NOV, or check with your country's, you know, license conditions. But as I say, mine's just on the little rubber duck antenna, just for around the house, and I know that this frequency is clear, you know, for especially as far as it's going, which is like, you know, nothing really. Narrow deviation, and you can change your power setting here. So like, if you do have an NOV or the license changes in the UK and we're allowed to use our own gateways and hotspots and whatever on the actual air, without an NOV, you could maybe put power level 2, which is 1 watt, but I've set mine on the lowest possible one that it'll go. And then you just click apply, and that is it. Like I say, my complete guide to System Fusion has loads more information than that I'm sort of showing you here. But yeah, you'll see it all populating down here of all the different rooms, and then you can either, you know, manually connect like this, you know, click connect, or you can use the other radio to connect. So what I'll probably do is I will do a quick little video of me showing you the node and me connecting it and using it with the FT1. So that's basically the YX software. But yeah, on a side note, if you want to check out my website, m6cb.com, there's loads of information on here. I've got loads of like reviews of different radios that I've covered. A lot of obviously is on YouTube as well. But I've done written reviews where you can have pictures and all that kind of stuff. So for an example, the HS1, you know, I did a review of that with loads of pictures and linked my videos and stuff. And we also have a forum as well. So if you click forum, but the forum, I'll put the link in the description, is hamdialogue.com. So there's loads of people on there. I think we've got about 25. It's only a couple of weeks old, the forum. But if you've got questions about stuff, you know, pop it in the forum, you know, and have a look. We've got a for sale and wanted section as well. You won't see that until you've registered, though, just to keep it sort of private. If people are selling things, you know, at least, you know, only registered people can see that. But that's on a side note. So what I'll do, I'll jump on my phone and I'll just show you the very basics of how I've connected it. So thank you for watching. Right, so when you've got the software and everything all started, obviously you'll need to connect it to your radio before you open YX. And then obviously you hold the back and the YX button to put it in YX mode. You can see, sorry about the camera, it's really tight in this corner, but you can see it says YX node there. So you can just hold those buttons, turn it on, and then hold them again and turn it on again to get it back from YX mode into a standard normal radio. And I've just got the cables connected here that I got in that kit, so obviously they're all in there. And then I've got a power connector at the back, you know, plugged into the wall wart, so it's obviously it's running on battery, but it keeps it going. So just a quick demonstration really. So let me just have a look. I'm on that. Sorry if the picture's not that good. I'm trying to get it to focus, but you can see on there I've got 144825, which is the same on the radio. Excuse me, and that's what we showed on the YX software. So you can choose whatever frequency you want, and then all we do is we hold the YX button on a separate radio. It sends a command. You can see the node transmitting in the back, and that's flashing was the last room we connected to. Like I say, the complete guide to System Fusion video will go into a lot more detail if you want to know how actually it works. But if we just tap that on the last room we got, it sends a command to the node comes back, and we are now connected, or so it says. Let's try it again. Sometimes it does need another go. There we go. So now we're connected, and then obviously on the screen it'll show the, you know, on the YX software where we're connected to. And you can either disconnect it on the actual program itself, or you can disconnect it by just holding down the band button there. So we'll sends a tone to the node comes back, and we're disconnected. So that's just a very brief look, but it's a really good way of making use of a spare FT3, you know, so you can get around the house, or obviously put it on an antenna if you've got the, you know, if you're allowed to do so. But yeah, that's it. So hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've really enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below. Have you tried doing this with a Yeasu radio? You know, you can do this with the FTM 100. A lot of people make nodes with those. So have you ever tried this, or will you give it a try? Let me know. So as I say, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate everybody who watches, comments, likes. It means a lot to me. And until the next time, I've been 2E0 FNM, and you've been very kind to watch. 7-3.